Note to self, if you want to take a good video, you have to take the lens cap off. I've never done that before. I can't believe it. Anyway, grace and peace, everybody. We're back. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, and you got questions, and I am here with all the answers. I want to know, why in the world would, in a case that is so important, in a case that is so vital in Fulton County, did they lean their entire case on somebody who at one point was deemed one of the most, if not the most violent criminal in Atlanta? Let me tell you what I'm talking about. Let's go. Authorities announced charges for the 12 of the most violent offenders in Operation Phoenix. Close out these little ads right here. Members of the FBI's Atlanta office and the U.S. Attorney and the Atlanta Police Department made the announcement on Thursday. FBI, let's make this a little bit larger so we can all see this a little bit more. Oh yeah, that's much better. All right. FBI Atlanta office held a news conference Thursday to announce, and this is October 29th, 2020. So this is almost 4 years ago. And notice who's going to be on here. Thursday to announce federal charges on the 12 of the most violent offenders who they said were behind the bulk of the rise of violent crime in the metro Atlanta area. The charges were a result of what was dubbed Operation Phoenix. Homeland Security, the ATF, DEA, and U.S. Secret Service, GBI, and U.S. Attorney's General's Office, as well as the ATL police, all participated in the investigation. That's a lot of folk. They was coming for your neck. They was coming for you. According to the FBI, back in mid-August, federal agencies worked with the Atlanta Police Department. Atlanta Police Department to develop a strategy to address the rise in violent crime happening throughout the city. The result in what was dubbed Operation Phoenix, which was described as a sustained, systemic, coordinated effort between the federal, state, local law enforcement. About 10 weeks after the operation was launched, the FBI said it was able to identify about a dozen people they believe were some of the most significant violent crime members of the city. After investigating, they brought their findings to the U.S. They brought their findings to the U.S. Attorney's Office. The result, federal charges against 12 individuals. We believe this initiative will slow the violence, explained FBI Special Agent in charge, Chris Hacker, adding that they believe the federal charges would act as a strong deterrent in any further violent acts. Now, if you look here at these 12 gentlemen, we see a face that we're probably familiar with. That's right. Mr. Woody Copeland, right there in the middle. Mr. Kenneth Copeland. I'm sorry, not Woody Copeland. Kenneth Copeland, right there in the middle. Let us go and continue. The spike in violence, according to the officials, came after decades of decline in court coincided with a global pandemic and a summer of civil unrest. Add to it the turned up rhetoric against police officers and a certain premature prosecutorial decision related to charging police officers that significantly and negatively impacted our peace officers, and Attorney Pack said. As a result, he said, low morale and stretched resources for APD led to a decrease in response time and a decrease in enforcement in communities and left a vacuum in the city. So this really is no surprise when the city's murder rate significantly exceeds the previous year and the violent crime rate is increasing, he continued. According to Interim Chief Rodney Bryant, APD first started noticing an uptick in May after lockdown restrictions were loosened. People, Bryant said, were antsy because they stayed inside because of the pandemic. Add in the improved weather, more social gatherings, and then mass waves of protest. Bryant said they saw more homicides happened, including more of the months of July 24 by his count than the most previous year. Analysts of the crimes, Bryant said, reveal a network of individuals that they believe were truly committed to violence, he said. It led to the department calling in federal help, leading to Operation Phoenix. He said the effects were almost immediate. The numbers started to stave off as we started to arrest these individuals, he said, adding that there was no area in the city that did not touch. Now, with 12 people identified off the streets, Bryant said that it appears the number of violent crimes have started to diminish. Bryant said that he believes the partnership with federal authorities will help disrupt major crimes, including drug sales, and because federal crimes come with stiffer penalties, keep future crimes from happening in the first place. The bottom line is there are going to be consequences of committing violent crimes in Atlanta. FBI agent Hacker said, warning that it was only a phase 1 of Operation Phoenix. All right, federal authorities charged the following people, and I just want to scroll right here. We see again Mr. Kenneth Copeland. And just in case you didn't know, there we go again. That's him. That's Kenneth Copeland. And the reason I'm pointing this out is because he is literally the backbone of the YSL trial. Like literally the whole trial is leaning on Woody. And there's no other way to put it. I mean, everything rests on him. If it falls apart because of Woody. If it succeeds because of Woody. Shout out to the Hood Lawyer, who on Twitter said, in 2020, the FBI, Homeland Security, and ATF, DEA, and U.S. Secret Service, GBI, and U.S. Attorney's Office released the top 15 most dangerous criminals in Georgia. I know Young Thug is not on this list. Y'all think the federal government would give him immunity? Just think it's very interesting. Like, why is Young Thug not on here if he was, again, so violent? If he's so, again, a crime lord of this nature, why is he not on here? I think that's a very, very valid question. But it's just something I thought was kind of interesting. Like, man, Woody was one of the most violent criminals in Atlanta at one point. And some people say he was the most violent, but definitely one of the most violent, no matter what. That's kind of wild. And they gave him immunity. Why did they give him immunity? Maybe that's why he wasn't so prone to accept the state immunity, because he knew that he had federal charges as well. I don't know. Just something to think about, something for you to consider. Let me know down in the comment section what you think. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts and all that kind of good stuff. So until next time, everybody, grace and peace.